Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back, and it's time to get back to work. So, I'm gonna cut out all the chit chat. We're gonna get right down to business. Here we go. Remember, instruments, musical instruments, are a device that we as musicians use to make music. You can take all kinds of regular, ordinary objects and turn them into instruments, okay? But remember that when you're talking about an instrument, you're talking about something that produces sound to help make music, okay? Remember, there are three ways that you can make a sound using an instrument. You can hit it, you can blow through it, or you can pluck it. Okay? So remember, hitting it, blowing through it, or plucking, or what we call strumming or bowing it. We'll get into that later, okay? One thing I want you guys to know is that instruments that we blow through, are we going to call them aerophones? Say that word with me. Aerophones. Aerophones. Oh, no, 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 no. You could do better than that. Let's try it again. Aerophones. Oh, okay, that was better. Aerophones are all of the instruments that we blow through, that we use our air to make sound. So any instrument that we use air for will be defined as an aerophone, okay? All right, now remember this. We're going to talk about I said four instrument families. All instruments are put into groups based on how they are related. And these are the four families. Once again, we've got the brass family. We've got the woodwind family. We've got the string family. And we've got the percussion family. Wait. So before we move on, I've got a treat for you right now that's going to help you remember all of these families. So I want you to take a look at this.
Brass sounds come from French horns and trumpets and trombones. The tubas are the biggest and make the lowest tones. Strings are violins, violas, cellos, and the bass. The harp is also counted as a member of this race. And finally, percussion, with them you can't compare, for they are things you shake and scrape or rattle in the air. The families of the orchestra, their melodies so clear. The families of the orchestra are sounds we like to hear.
What did you think of that, huh? Man, I tell you, I don't know how I do it, but somehow I was able to put the magic together. But that song right there is a great song to help you remember all of those families as well as instruments that are in the family. So at this point, we're going to talk about each of these families a little bit more in depth. Here we go. The brass family. That's how we got to say it now. So whenever I say brass, we're going to be like this. The brass family. We're going to lean back, act like we have a trumpet, and we're going to say the brass family. Okay? So the brass family are the instruments that basically have the loudest sound. Okay? These are all aerophones. Remember, that's because we use air to help make the sound. Okay, so these are very, very loud instruments. So if you're someone who just likes to be loud, these are the instruments for you. Okay, Most brass instruments are going to have three keys or valves that help change the sound. We'll talk more about that when we get to brass soon, okay? The most common brass instruments are trumpet, French horn, trombone, tuba. One more time, those instruments are trumpet, French horn, trombone, tuba. Got it? Moving on, let's go. The woodwind family. So anytime we say woodwind family, we act like we have a saxophone. We're going to do the woodwind family. I want to try that again. The woodwind family. Now, the woodwind family are not as loud as brass instruments, but they have what they call a bright sound. And sometimes a bright sound, although not louder, can be heard a little bit better. Okay? So, they're not as loud as brass instruments, as I said. All of the woodwind family instruments are also aerophones. Remember, because they need air to make the sound. So brass and woodwind would be all considered aerophone instruments. So one of the interesting things about the woodwind family is that at one point, each and every one of the instruments were made out of wood. Okay, so because they were made out of wood, they call them the woodwind family. Also, one thing that's different with them is that they're going to require a small piece of wood that we call a reed. You put the reed on the instrument, and the reed is what helps make the sound, okay? Common woodwind instruments are the flute, the clarinet, and the saxophone. I'll do that again. The flute, the clarinet, and the saxophone. Very good. Keep it moving now. Keep it moving. The string family. So anytime we do the string family, we're going to put our arm out like this. We're going to say the string family. Again, the string family. All right. Now, this is the first family so far that are not aerophones. You will not use air for these because we produce sound with string instruments using plucking, strumming, or what we call bowing. Okay? So, all string instruments are going to have multiple strings to play on. For classical string instruments, that number is usually 4 strings, okay? But there are different string instruments that have more or less depending on what you're playing. Common string instruments are violin, viola, cello, double bass. Okay, once again, violin, viola, cello, and double bass. And guitars. I'm sorry. I can't help it when I get to see guitars. I just get so excited. But yes, guitars are absolutely part of the string family. Okay, and when we get to string family and we talk about this more in depth, we're gonna talk about all the guitars, all the types of different guitars. It's just gonna be a blast. Trust me. All right, and the last family we're gonna talk about is the percussion family. percussion family. Okay? This is the family that requires us to hit the surface or strike the surface to make a sound. Okay? This is the only family that has what we call pitched and non-pitched instruments. Basically meaning there are instruments that just have this one sound, never changes. And there are other instruments that you can actually play on and sing along, like the xylophone. So common percussion instruments are bass drum, snare drum, xylophone, cymbals, and drum set. Yes. So those are the four families. Now, what we're going to do is for the pretty much the rest of the school year, we're going to take each one of these families and we're going to dive in and learn as much as possible about each of them. So by the time you leave, you will know pretty much all the good stuff about all of these families. Okay, so please make sure after watching this video, you go check out your playlist. Please make sure you get those done. If you got any questions, come let Mr. Stokes know, and I'm going to help you with whatever you need. All right. So guys, go out there and make the world a better place. Have a great day.